Hey guys, what's up? Dingo Crikey here with another commentary video. This time I'm going to be discussing some recent news on the production and plot details for the Transformers Machinima series. So, in the past few days, we had what were probably some of the biggest reveals for the Machinima series so far at Hasbro Toy Fair 2016 Investor and Press event. We also got some exciting news for the Generations toy line and Transformers 5. If you're interested in hearing commentary on either of those topics, you can follow the links which will be posted here so you can check out these videos. But in this video, I'm going to be focusing exclusively on the Machinima news, and I'll be discussing the news on a topic-by-topic basis. If you're interested in only one of the topics, then you can check in the description below where you can find a guide listing each topic with corresponding time frames. Also in the description, I've posted a link to the source for this news if you want to read it yourself. Without further ado, let's see what's going on with Combiner Wars. First up, we finally know that the Machinima series will be premiering in summer of 2016, as confirmed by a promotional image released by Hasbro. And the article states more specifically that it will be premiering in July of 2016, which either way gives us a pretty good idea of the time frame in which we can expect to see this series. It's actually a little bit sooner than I expected, just considering that we haven't seen any animation or learned about like voice actors or anything like that up to this point. I find it a little bit hard to believe they can get all of this production done by the summer, but they do still have about 5 months, so that's a lot of time to get stuff done. But I wouldn't be surprised if the series ended up premiering in August or gets pushed back a little bit. Either way, really cool news, especially considering this summer we're going to have the Machinima series. Next summer we'll have Transformers 5. 2018 we're getting the Bumblebee movie, so they definitely have a pretty loaded lineup. Anyways, moving on to the next piece of news, we now know that Windblade is going to be the main protagonist of the series. The article states, quote, Windblade will be the protagonist of the story, and she will be hunting down Starscream, who now holds the Enigma of Combination. So basically, as a lot of people seem to be hoping for, it does seem as though the series will be following the recent plot lines from the IDW comic books, though I wouldn't know all of the details of it, as personally I've only started to read the comic books recently, and I'm still at the beginning of the More Than Meets the Eye series. But for those who aren't familiar with the comic books, I do believe the Enigma of Combination is one of the artifacts of the 13 original Transformers, and one of its many abilities is that it allows Transformers to be able to combine, or the person who holds the Enigma of Combination may be able to force other Transformers to merge into a combined form, and it also works with unifying their personalities when they're in that combined form. So in simplest terms, I'm guessing this is why Windblade wants to get this from Starscream. Anyways, in regards to my personal thoughts on this, the storyline itself does sound kind of cool, as it isn't going to be a traditional Autobot Decepticon storyline. At least from what I understand at this point in the comic books, there's a little bit more politics going on Cybertron, and characters like Starscream are no longer just the lackey of Megatron who is one day hoping at leadership. So it sounds pretty cool. Still, it's kind of one of those good guys are trying to steal a power source from bad guys or vice versa type storylines, but sounds okay. What I'm really excited about is that we're going to see Windblade as a protagonist, as we usually don't see Transformers have a single character as their main character. Usually it's a core group of Autobots, and if we do have a main character, it's Optimus or Bumblebee, as we're seeing, for example, in the Bumblebee spin-off film. So this is definitely really exciting. Windblade seems like a pretty cool character. I know some people don't like her so much in Robots in Disguise. However, I do think this take on her character is a little bit less of a Mary Sue character. You guys who have read the comics can, of course, drop off any additional info in the comment section below. That would be really cool. Though, if you're going to discuss things that are evidently spoiler material, such as character deaths or big turning points in the story, just mark it with some sort of spoiler tag. Last bit of big news we have is that we now know each episode of the series will be 7 minutes long, and there's supposed to be 8 episodes in all. This may be disappointing for some people. Personally, I found it a little bit disappointing myself. Not necessarily that we're not going to get a ton of content from it, as I'm definitely a believer in quality over quantity, but if they were going to have something like this, which is probably going to amount up to around 50 minutes and all, I would rather them have just condensed it down into a mini movie rather than 8-7 minute episodes, as I'm hoping they don't just kind of rush and cram a lot of stuff. Or we could also run into this problem where we don't really feel like we're getting a lot of the big picture because each episode is so short. So I think there are some problems we could run into, but I'm definitely still excited for it, and it's going to be a different format of storytelling in animation than we're used to seeing, but it still could turn out to be really cool, so I guess we'll just have to see. As far as any other news, nothing on the animation style, and we still don't have any trailer. But the news we did get is sort of like the next best thing, so it's definitely enough to get hyped for the series. And that about wraps things up. However, I did want to mention one more thing that is in regards to all of us sharing our opinions on this topic. So, if you check in the right hand corner of this video, you'll see an icon which will reveal a poll where you can share your opinions on whether or not you like the idea of Windblade being the star of the Machinima series. Unless YouTube removes the poll option, I'm going to try to start placing these polls on my videos on a regular basis. It seems like a cool and efficient way to get everyone's opinion on topics, and if you're like me and you just enjoy polls, then this is a really cool idea. I plan to wrap up my coverage of the Toy Fair news by discussing all of the Generations reveals, so stay tuned for that, along with more regular uploads in the coming weeks. You can also follow me on Twitter for more regular updates. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.